Hello, welcome to the next lab of embedded logic design. So today we are going to do the microblaze IP with we are going to achieve FFT using DMA and BRAM as well. Okay, so let's start with creating a project. So let me name it, and then so you don't need a board for this lab because we are going to just test it on simulation. So I am just adding this board. We are not going to test this design on the board, but we are just going to look at the uh, simulation waveforms for this lab. Okay, so first let's create a block design. Okay, so let me first add the microblaze processor. So this is a microblaze processor that I have added. So now I will do the run block automation, and then we need a memory of at least 128, and this will be a uh, clock connection would be a external port. So now some blocks will be generated. So this is for the reset and clock. This is debug module, and then this is the local memory. Okay, so let me first change the name of this port to clock, and then there is a external reset that we will make. Make it external. Okay. So I'll change the name of this port as well. We will drive this port by ourselves from outside, from the test bench. Okay, for to run before running the simulation, we will be writing a test bench, and then we will move ahead. Okay, so let's now add the BRAM IP. Okay, okay. So this is the BRAM controller, and run all automation. Once this is added, you have to recustomize it. The BRAM control IP, and change the data width to 64, and then check if we need interfaces. No, so everything else is seems to be fine. Okay, so do okay. Okay, so this is done. So now after the automation has been done, and the this we have configured the BRAM as well, and now we will add the DMA IP. This one, the second one, will be using the AXI DMA IP. Okay, so just zoom it and show it to you. So double click on this. So we will be configuring this in a certain mode. So we do not need the scatter gather engine for our lab. And then you have to change this to 64. The max burst size, we need a 256 max burst. Data stream width, again 64. Okay, so change this one to 64 as well. And we can go ahead with this one. Everything else is fine. Okay, so click OK, and then we'll do the run connection automation. In this, I will do the all automation option. And then okay. Okay, so regenerate the layout to look at it better. So now you'll see that there are the stream to memory map to stream, and again stream to memory map to stream. These are the various ports. So you have connected effectively the for the for the BRAM to IP uh, communication. You need this stream to memory mapped and memory mapped to stream conversion, because BRAM is a memory map based IP, and so BRAM control is a memory mapped interface, and then you have the IP, which is FFT IP, that you will be sending the data to using the stream interface. Okay, so this conversion is required here. So that is why there are various ports. So now finally we'll be adding the FFT IP here. Okay, so double click on this one, because we need the 8-point FFT for this lab. So I will be selecting the same in the reconfigure part. I'll select the transform length as 8. Okay. And then everything else is fine on this one. We move to the implementation. So the data format, we are using the floating point data. Okay. And space factor width remains this one, the natural order. Okay, because we want the output is in the natural order as we did in the previous labs as well. This A reset, the active low reset also we need this here. Okay, so I'll click OK. So once this is done, for the S-axis configuration, so we want this to be configured as FFT. So as we did in the previous lab, we will again be giving a constant input here. Okay, so double click on this, the constant width, so you can directly feed this to the valid signal. And then again I need another constant IP, and this one you have to configure this to 8-bit width, and the value remains 1. Okay, so this is for the configuration part. So connect this to T data manually. Okay, so once this is done, then what you need to do is first let's connect the clock. So there is a clock, just connect these with each other, this here. Okay, so now finally let's look at some ports. So this is the input port, the slave port of the stream input of the FFT data input, and this is the FFT data output, that is the stream master port. Now this stream has to be converted from stream to memory mapped before passing it on to BRAM, and from the BRAM, as we get the data here, that data has to be converted from memory map to stream. Okay, so this means that this should go to mm to s, and this will go to s to mm, and respectively the master and slave will be the counter of each other. Okay, so this is the slave. So stream, so stream to memory mapped conversion, this will be doing it, and then just connect it like this one. Okay. Okay, so these are the connections that we want to do here. So let me regenerate the layout. Okay, so finally, this looks something like this. Okay, so what will happen is, through the microblaze IP, through the interconnect, I will be sending some data to the BRAM. We will be storing some input data to the BRAM. That input data, once we have written this input data into the BRAM, through the microblaze processor only, I will configure this DMA and tell this DMA that I want to pick some data from certain memory locations into the DMA, and from that DMA you want to send it to FFT input. Okay, after some time FFT will be calculated. Again you want the DMA to take the input, input again from the master port, the output, and store it inside the BRAM. Okay, From here again, after the FFT from DMA, store it into the memory locations in the VRAM. So these are the ports that help you. So the FFT output will be coming from this port. So this S2MM port in the DMA, and this input of the XFFT will be going from memory map to stream. Okay, so this is the master memory map to stream, and you will have a memory map to stream AXI as well. So this is how we are configuring uh, our design. Okay, so let's move ahead, and the block design is complete. So let's validate it first. Okay, so validation is successful. So for this lab, first let me generate the HDL wrapper. Fine. So the HDL wrapper, you can see, has been generated. So I want a simulation source. So let me generate a simulation source. Create file. Let's name it microblaze test bench. Okay. Then finish. Okay. Yes. So we are going to write a very simple test bench. We are just going to provide some clock. So this clock and reset that you see inside the wrapper is nothing but the external ports that we have made while making the block design. In the test bench, I'll be simply adding the code on my notepad. Okay, I'll just change the name of the module, and we can look at the test bench now. So let me check this one. So here you have design one wrapper, name is similar. So I'll just okay. Fine. So let's save this one, and you will see that instantiation happens here. Okay, so the design has been instantiated under my test bench. Okay, so what we are doing is we are simply generating a clock here. Okay, always block, and then we also have a initial block in which I'm initially setting the reset equal to 0, and then reset is equal to 1 after 100 time units, because we have active low. So that is why this is being done here. Okay, so this is the simple instantiation that we are doing. Pretty much simple thing. Okay, this much is done. Now what we will need to do is generate output products. Okay. Okay, so this process is running, and in the next part of this lab, we will see how to write the HLS code, the SDK code for this part of the lab.